I don't like the one and done, but at the same time, certain players has no business going to college, like Kevin Durant, LeBron James, people like that of that stature. Kevin Garnett. So what I think that they should do, they should implement a system where you have to stay in college 2 years. With that being said, certain kids should be exempt. Like when you got somebody like LeBron James, he should have to go to some kind of appeals process in front of a committee where they got to be like, hey, you state your case, and then we make a decision if you can go straight to the NBA. Right. It should be certain kids that is exempt from going to college, like a LeBron James of that nature. And somebody like Marvin Bagley, right?
Right.
I think Marvin Bagley probably could have been one of those kids that would have been exempt for this class that's coming up from going to college.
Correct.
But they need to come up with a 2 years and done rule. Stop the one and done. Because at the end of the day, it's gonna make the college game better, and it's gonna make these kids come into the league more seasoned and more ready to play. Because you got a lot of kids that get picked in the lottery, and it's 13 picks in the lottery? 13, 14, somewhere around there.
I think they push it like to the right at 15.
Right. And more often than not, man, out of those 13, maybe 1 or 2 of them pan out.
Right.
You know, if you're starting to see a lot of these kids that's getting picked in
9 to 10 more freshmen.
A lot of these kids in the later that's getting picked in the late first round, early second round. Some of them that's in the late second round that's getting drafted almost at the end. Or some of these kids are starting to pan out in the NBA because these are kids that's been in the NBA 3 years. Some of them are seniors, and you starting
sophomores.
And you see them coming into the league more ready to play than these kids that's getting picked early in the draft. So I think that's what they need to do. I think that would work. It's kind of like something like when Maurice Claret was trying to come out that year. He wanted to go to a court and
him and Mike Williams.
They were trying to beat the system that way. It didn't work out, but that's something I think the NBA and the NCAA need to come up with. Certain kids that come out of high school, they need to be able to go in front of a committee, state their case, and look, hey, you shouldn't have to go to college, go to the NBA.
Nah, I think this response was from Reginald Johnson. He said that ain't fair though. You never knows who's ready for the NBA. You could have a LeBron James or you could have a Kwame Brown.
And now my response will be this: Kwame Brown, LeBron James. Let's be serious. There's no comparison. When Kwame Brown was coming out and Michael Jordan picked him number 1, it was a lot of question marks. You saw the upside, but it was a lot of question marks. You knew LeBron James was going to be ready day 1 when he came into the NBA. You knew Kevin Durant was going to be ready day 1. You knew Kevin Garnett was going to be ready day 1.
Kobe Bryant.
No, I wouldn't go with Kobe Bryant. I would go with Kobe Bryant.
But the other thing to get lost is people forget that LeBron high school actually scrimmaged the Cleveland Cavaliers and he dominated them while he was still in high school. So it was no shot that, it was no it was no thought. Now somebody that it did help out was Anthony Davis. We didn't know Anthony Davis. You didn't know Anthony Davis was going to be that. People forget that he was a point guard. That he had a hell of a growth spurt.
Right. He was 6'3", then went 6'10" the senior year. You didn't know that.
So just imagine they would have made if that rule was in place. He had to stay another year.
Right.
Pelicans would have missed out, but just imagine just how much more refined he would have been able to get.
And I'm gonna tell you another thing: is this gonna stop? You start making people go to college for 2 years, you're gonna see a lot of teams stop tanking. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna eliminate a lot of stuff. Like I say, when LeBron James was in high school, you knew he was gonna be an immediate impact. Correct. Certain kids that gonna come out of high school, like Zion Williamson.
You're right.
Zion Williamson. He's one I think that could go in a committee and possibly be able to get, and they be like this, look, go straight to the league.
Go straight to the league.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's certain kids that's gonna come out.
Michael Porter, prior to going to Missouri, was that?
I probably would make him go to college. You gotta be a specimen. You gotta be really like dominant coming out of high school for to even go to the committee to be able to get accepted to go to the NBA out of high school. It's certain situations. Kevin Durant, we knew that dude was gonna be a lethal weapon.
Wall.
I don't know about John Wall.
I think it was a product of his,
I don't know about John Wall.
He was a very athletic kid.
I don't know about John Wall.
Just think about like for instance, Jahlil Okafor could have been one. He could have been one that out of high school that could have challenged because it was like, you know what, that type of big, we don't know, it's gonna be unfair for you in college. It's just I'm and 10% behind G on this one because
For a change.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hey, 2018, baby. But one thing I think is going to what also help is now the mid-majors could be in play because now you forcing the Duke, you forcing the Louisville, you forcing the Michigan, you forcing the North Carolina to say, all right, you got these McDonald Americans, they got to stay 2 years. They don't get as many football scholarships as scholarships as football. So you got like 7 scholarships a year. So now they stuck. Right. So now you can't offer another scholarship player. You have to wait till that cycle goes on. So now a mid-major sitting there like, hey, look, yeah, we don't have all the fanfare, but you can't. It's not like they gonna release this person, right? For you, so they can't do that. So come on here, and now it won't be such a seesaw. It'll start balancing out, and it'll make it more enjoyable for a fan to watch.
They were picking players out of high school, and they didn't want to hang around high school gyms and talking to agents and all this other stuff. And they're picking guys who just. But again, I think the biggest problem was at the time they didn't have a G League in place. They didn't have a developmental league in place. And I want to read Reginald Johnson's comment. He said certain players being allowed to go straight to the league could never work because there will be so many kids appealing that they're ready.
And a lot of them will lose the appeal.
Yeah, there's something wrong with them.
A lot of them will lose the appeal. They will lose. Man, listen, it ain't hard to understand. Kevin Garnett was ready for the NBA. It's not hard to understand Kevin Durant was ready for the NBA. Dwight Howard, LeBron. It's certain kids that come out like, all right,
he was ready.
He gonna be the #1 pick when he come out.
Regardless,
it's certain kids, and those kids would win the appeal. Other kids, like I'll give you another example. R.J. Barrett, he was the #1 player for this class, and he going to Duke.
Right.
I don't think he would win the appeal. I've seen R.J. Barrett play a number of times. Don't get me wrong, he's a great talent. Mm-hmm. I think he's gonna be a stud in college. But I don't think he would win the appeal to be able to go straight from high school to the NBA.
Right.
And I'm telling you, it's going to make the NBA better. It's going to make the college game better. Now, with that being said, what they're going to have to do, if you're going to implement that and make them stay 2 years, you got to pay these guys. You got to find a way to implement some kind of payment for these kids to keep the way these $100,000 payments going down to get people to lure kids to go to their schools.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you what a lot of people don't know that Calipari do. And how Calipari getting away with not being in all this scrutiny as far as paying players and being on this FBI investigation. Calipari threw basketball camps in the summer.
Right.
And for kids all around the country to come to these camps. This John Calipari, everybody trying to go to Calipari camp. Right. I think these kids are paying somewhere along the lines. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's like $1,200 a kid.
Yeah, I'm about to say
somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. So if you got 500 kids come to this camp, you do the math. So what he does, and this is what I was told, what he does is, I think he has like 8 scholarship players. Mm-hmm. So those 8 scholarship players, what they do, the money he makes from the camp, he splits that money amongst those 8 scholarship players, and that's how he pay them.
Smart man.
But every college coach in the country can't do that.
It sounds like some saving stuff. It sounds like some saving stuff.
Dog, that's a smart way to get your players compensated and going around all the fine tape.
That's the way it's not.
You see what I'm saying?
Like Louisville.
So, but like I say, every college coach can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like if Sean Miller at Arizona want to do that, I mean, he might have 150 kids coming to the camp.
He not gonna have that many.
But John Calipari got that name. He's very popular. Like, how a lot of kids know who he is. Correct. He's going to get that many. He could charge $1,200 to come to Kentucky camp.
Him and Roy Williams.
Roy Williams could do it. Coach K could do it.
But certain coaches might not want even step in. I don't see Coach K just stepping. I say, nah, you know what? I'm just going to stick to what I do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Certain thing for certain stroke.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we gotta get ready to shift to this.
We gotta get ready to shift gears a little bit. We're gonna get back to this. We're gonna talk a little LeBron and his comment about the NCAA being corrupt. But we gotta get into the month of February. Mm-hmm. Anthony Davis. Mm-hmm. Man, this kid here. He has something like 35 some points, 17 some rebounds. Man, throughout the month of February.
In a 7-game win streak, the man averaging 42 and 17.
I mean, here's our question to everybody. Leave your comments. Can Anthony Davis win NBA MVP? Is this his race
Let me warn some of our first-time viewers. G is a huge Rockets fan. I think he's the only person on the panel that has a team.
Like a true team.
Like you know what I'm saying? So
he's Rockets over player.
You know what I'm saying? So
I'm player over organization.
You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna be quite slighted to this one. But to me personally, I think it should take a good look because there's no doubt in my mind James Harden should have won the MVP last year. I'm a big fan of give people roses while they living. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you can't make up a mistake for what you didn't do last year, this year. You know, and that's what they try to do. They've been trying all year long. Like, hey, you know, it's James Harden to lose. They're not saying that he's not deserving of it. But I look at it now. He has help. Mm-hmm. And Chris Paul is a major addition. Look, you went from hovering around 4 to 3, you know, and 3, the 4th seed and the 3 seed with just James by himself to now you number 1. Mm-hmm. You know, Chris Paul has a big place in that. Then I look at AD. Even with Boogie, he was putting up numbers.
Right.
Now Boogie get hurt and everybody's saying, that's it for the Pelican season, and he just turns it on a notch and he just goes crazy. If you take and this is how I look at most valuable player. I don't care about win-loss records. I don't care about none of that. I think if you take James Harden away from the Rockets, are they still a 1 seed? No, but they're still a playoff team. That's just me.
I agree with that.
I agree with that. Personally,
That's fair.
Now, you know what I'm saying? Now with Boogie injured, if you take AD away from the Pelicans, are the Pelicans a playoff team? Hell no. They fighting for the lottery.
You know, they fight. They in the lottery.
You know what I'm saying? They fight. Well, they got a big jump. You know, them East teams gonna hog the lottery. Right. But you know, that's just what it is. And I'm
right.
And by you not giving James Harden the MVP when he was supposed to get it, now you stuck in this pickle. Right now, you're looking at James Harden like, oh yeah, he's the clear cut favorite. Right. But then you look, how can you deny what this young man is doing? He's he's top 10 in points. He's top 10 in rebounds. He's top 10 in blocks. He's top 10 in steals.
Correct.
He's top 10 in efficiency. You know, you can't, and he's doing it by himself. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's just like when Chris Paul with Kobe.
2007 season.
The big difference is Chris Paul got hurt the season afterwards, so you couldn't say he's the clear-cut favorite.
And at that point in time, Kobe Bryant never won it.
You know, so it was like don't feed me that. You know what I'm saying? We messed up. We got to give it to him.
Right.
The proof is in the pudding. The numbers. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I think AD deserves it over James Harden right now. And I still think he got a huge chance of getting it because there's so much left in the regular season.
Now, I'm gonna read a couple of comments right quick, and then I'm gonna get my take. And I know you got something to say. Okay, Scoot St. Clair said nope, AD deserves it, but we all know the player on the best team gets the award. It's never, with the exception of last year, goes to the most valuable player. But Harden is the Peyton of basketball. Awesome regular season, but shrivel up in the playoff. And Reginald Johnson says, AD has the stats, but we all know performance plays a part. Another Kobe and Steve Nash situation.
Wow, yeah, I forgot about that one.
Although Harden is deserving, the Rockets still can win without him. AD goes down.
Win what? Win what?
I guess I'm with
you on that one. Win what?
That's why I clearly state playoff. That's why I clearly
they may make it to playoff. But I would.
Yeah, I agree with that with Chris Paul.
But without James Harden,
but talking about winning it,
no. Without James Harden, with James Harden right now, this team is a NBA contending finals team.
Right now, they're the favorite to go to the finals. I know G don't want all that pressure on his team like that.
Yeah, I want to be the underdog. Look, Anthony Davis is a dog. I respect everything Anthony Davis is doing. I actually think Anthony Davis is the third, or arguably the third, possibly the fourth best player in the NBA.
You say fourth?
Possibly.
I give him third.
But I say it's arguable with third because
this year I would say third.
Because
each season is arguable.
LeBron, Kevin Durant, and I think
Healthy Kawhi?
huh? I wouldn't. I'm talking about like this year.
Okay, this year.
Third is arguable between
him and
AD and Harden.
It's arguable.
arguable.
Well,
Him and Harden.
There's no disrespect to Harden. I put Giannis up there before I put Harden.
No. I can't do it.
This is the only reason why. He does everything for their team. He does everything for that team. You take him away from the Bucks, what the fuck are the Bucks?
I agree with it.
I agree with
it.
argue with you on that.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And he's yeah, they're in the East. I get that, but it used to be when the Bucks came to town, easy win. Now it's like we got a battle.
Hey, it's the Bucks.
It's just like when James Harden went to the Rockets. It was like before he got there, like Rockets come to town, we got to win. Now we got to battle. Now we got a battle and he got help. Oh my God, we got to play from behind.
Right.
I just feel like AD. Like I said, I think AD is arguably third. He's for sure the fourth best person in the NBA, in my opinion.
Right.
What James Harden doing this year is phenomenal. I actually think last year, even though Westbrook averaged a triple-double, I still think James Harden should have won the MVP. That's just my opinion. He averaged more assists and he averaged more points. And his team had a better record. And I also think when it comes to this MVP voting, I think the NBA need to start giving this MVP voting, doing the MVP voting after the playoffs, after the finals. Because what good is it to give somebody an MVP if they piss down their leg when the playoffs come? And I know they say it's a regular season award. Man, forget all that. I feel like your legacy is defined what you do in the postseason. Right. So you could, like Peyton Manning. I always say it all the time. Peyton Manning looks like a damn machine in the regular season. Yeah. And the quarterback, he's still a good quarterback, but he's not the same as he was in the regular season.
Well, how about they do what baseball do? I think baseball don't have a lot of things right, but their award system is right.
I like that.
Regular season MVP, postseason MVP. Would you agree with that as a fan?
I would like that more than just saying that guy's the MVP of the league, and then he got in the first round of playoffs.
And pissed down his leg.
Like Westbrook.
They ain't pissed down his leg. His team lost.
You know what I'm saying?
His team lost.
Yeah, he didn't. You know, so I would like to see that implemented into the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Pick the MVP and account the regular season with the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That's just me. James Harden averaging 31, 5, and 9, man. His team got we got the number one team in the NBA.
Mm-hmm. See how he switched that to we real quick?
To have the number one team in the NBA with that many USA Junior, with Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, that says a lot about what he's doing on the Rockets right now.
Okay.
AD, phenomenal season. I don't know too many players in the NBA that could go on that Pelicans team and win, and I think they fifth in the West right now.
Yes.
They're fifth.
I don't know too many players in the NBA that could be on that team and have the Pelicans fifth in the West right now with no boogie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so he is doing a great job, but he's not doing what James Harden is doing. James Harden is on another level right now. 31, 5, and 9, the number one team in the West. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't think they would be where they at right now, simply because D'Antoni, I didn't think D'Antoni can get this team to the promised land. I didn't think it. Right. I didn't think it. And I thought that we needed a third option.
Right.
They are obviously showing right now that they don't need a third option with the way him and Chris Paul is playing right now.
This about to be a new segment, the Fire Up G segment. My boy, I'm gonna call him JJ because that's he from the hood and that's what I know, man. Said Harden pissed on his leg more than a puppy.
Hey, it's a regular season award. It's a regular season award. We going on regular season. He's number one in the West. We're number one in the West.
The key did jump back. Let's see if Harden pissed out his leg this year like he did last year. They all
He did. Listen,
now Ariel Davis says it's Harden time. No, it's Harden time.
Listen.
That's a rumbling in the house right now. Keys going one way, Ariel
like
going another way.
Like I said.
I love it.
That's why I wouldn't get an MVP award out to after, and I would count the playoffs and the regular season into the award. And if that's so, James Harden definitely wouldn't have won it last year.
Right.
But if you're just going off regular season, man, James Harden is running away with the MVP right now. It ain't even close.
You said running away? I can't.
He's running away.
I can't
Listen, bro. Listen. AD right here, James Harden here. It ain't no close race. Like last year with Westbrook and Harden, it was close. It was like Westbrook, Harden, I don't know. Even though I think
someone in that.
I don't think
it was a 2-man race.
Kawhi was in there just to because you always have to have 3 names in the MVP race.
Right.
That's the only reason why.
Here's my take on it. Here's what I'm thinking. We talked about it before the season started. Before the NBA season started, we said to ourselves, what? If the Pelicans can be a 4th or 3rd seed, somehow, some way, Anthony Davis. Here's my take on this. The Pelicans had 8th seed expectations at best, even with Boogie on that team. That was the expectation of this basketball team. To say this team right now is 5th. The difference is this. We knew
the 2 games outside of 3rd.
Not just that, but here's the key part of this. We knew the Rockets, even without Chris Paul, could still be a 4th seed or a 3rd seed, just with Hart. We knew that because the previous seasons had dictated that the team can beat this. So now that they're the number 1 seed, the best seed in the NBA, now in addition to Chris Paul, this is somewhat expected. Not Hart in season statistically, but the record, so to speak. We can expect that from the Rockets. Now, what the Pelicans are doing, record-wise, is not expected. And that has everything to do with 23. And now we take that fact that Booby Cousins ain't playing another game of basketball. We know that he's Achilles, he's gone. So if the Pelicans finish beyond expectation, which could be a 3rd seed, which is ahead of San Antonio, ahead of the Timberwolves, ahead of Portland, ahead of OKC, ahead of Denver, ahead of all these teams, we say to ourselves, how can they accomplish that? It's only because of Anthony Davis and what he has to do each and every single night. So how can we say to ourselves that he can't not be the MVP of the league? Because the reality is, if I take him off this team is competing with the East with the 1st overall pick. Or 2nd overall pick.
I think the thing is we got to think about who votes for the MVP. It's the sports writer. Now and I think our panel shows you just how the sports writer feels. You got some people that feel like, hey, what Hart is doing is phenomenal as far as.
I know one thing. When he did the Wesley Johnson last night, I would give him a damn.
me personally,
Famous Lowe's need to come and do a segment on that, man. Boy, what is you doing,
boy? What you doing, boy?
Boy, did you trip over a chill?
but me personally, how I always looked at the MVP. You know, it's not just now. How I've always looked at the MVP was, if you take that person away for that team, are they in the playoffs, or are they doing half of what they're doing now? That's why everybody was saying, like, you get tired of voting for the same person. Yeah, we know he the best, but he don't deserve it. That's why when LeBron won it 3 times in a row, like, you take away from Cleveland Cavaliers, what you got? You take away from Miami, even though they had Bosh and Wade, what you got? Because, the numbers proved it. Is especially in the league where the guard is in the league is designed for the guard to have better numbers than a big man. I expect James Harden's numbers to be higher. I expect, because part of his game is the 3-point game. AD is not an elite 3-point shooter. James Harden is in an elite threshold of 3-point shooters. So I expect him to have more points a game. But then when I see a big man in the West carrying his team by himself, like, if he doesn't, and it's the thing of, I look at it, this is one big tip of the scale. I look at, if James Harden don't go out and get 30 points, do the Rockets have a chance of winning? Hell yeah. If AD don't come out and get 40 points, if he don't come out and get 40 points, do they have a chance to win?
They beat the Spurs last night. He only had 26.
The first time in the but think about
Holiday showed up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But how many times? But see, outside of Drew, who can you just count on for consistent buckets on that team without Boogie? Drew,
he's streaky, but
I say
Drew is very capable.
I say outside of Drew.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got. I look.
Nurkic, the kid they got from the Bulls. I wouldn't put him in a category as somebody that could just get you buckets, but he's been productive. He can give you 16, 17 points.
He's been productive for the Pelicans.
Look, the Pelicans was so different. They went out and found Chewy and Emeka Okafor in the goddamn Caribbean.
And he been playing solid too.
They went and found this. You know what I'm saying? I look at the Rock and say, Chris Paul can go get his. James Harden will get his. If James Harden don't get his, I still look at somebody like Trevor Reeves gonna get his. He gonna get steals. He gonna make the big plays. He gonna run down court.
Capella been balling.
That was rebound, putting back Capella. I look at somebody like Eric Gordon coming off the bench.
Joe Johnson.
You know what I'm saying? They got
Ryan Anderson.
It's they have a cover-up effect. If James don't get his, if Chris don't get his, this happens.
can still be a
Well, the Pelicans don't have that.
Oh no!
Especially since Boogie's gone, the Pelicans don't have that. And even when they had Boogie, if AD and Boogie didn't have mirror numbers, they didn't have a chance of winning the game.
School of St. Clair say, G, you better stop acting like the Spurs series didn't happen. I ain't forget. You know, it is what it is. And the Ruppin says, what's good, FanView? Whoa, what up?
What up, man?
What's good?
School of St. Clair say, at this point, it's a 3-man race between Harden, AD, and Kyrie. Stop. You need to stop. LeBron is above Kyrie. Come on now.
I put to me if my top 3 for the MVP. I say
Giannis.
Yeah, I'll go AD.
I can't put Giannis over LeBron. I just can't do it.
Because it's just like you
want something new?
Yeah, I mean, and you know, I'm a big LeBron fan. It's just like I see you, young pup. I see you.
You can be for it. Reginald Johnson said, AD has the stats, but we all know team performance plays a part. See, Reginald, I knew you had a little sense up there because you were talking stupid earlier about Moroccans and James Harden. Nah, come on, all right, you made a little sense right there. Another Kobe and Steve Nash situation. Although Harden is deserving, the Rockets can still win without him. AD goes down is over for New Orleans. Agreed. And like I say, man,
how you not getting MVP? Like if just think about this. If you didn't put a name in front of you, if you didn't put a name or a player in front of you, if somebody blindfolded you and say, look, I got this player, he got this, and this, but if he go down, his team still make the playoff. Then I got player B over here, he do this. If he go down, his team go down. Right. And with a blindfold, always said you give player A or player B the MVP. I think 9 times out of 10, everybody will say, you know what? Well, if he go down, the team can't make it. Well, he got to, because it's the most valuable player, not the most valuable team, the most valuable player.
But we all got to understand that at the end of the day, you know, it is. How I want to put this in words. We, as fans, we do want to see the most valuable player. If a guy who's going to have that, we want to see this guy play in a Western Conference Finals or a Conference Finals championship or in the NBA Finals. We don't want to see the guy lose in the first round.
No, hold on. Butler made a hell of a point.
No, that's not a hell of a point.
I mean,
that's not a hell of a point.
Sports.
The small market AD plays in is ultimately what's going to cause him the MVP race. If NOLA was a bigger market and the Pelicans got the 3 seed with this roster, AD would have the MVP. You can't say that because Phoenix not a big market and Steve Nash won the MVP 2 years in a row and he only averaged 13 points a game. Now he averaged like double-digit assists. So you can't say it's the market.
And then Cleveland.
Tim Duncan won it a couple of years.
See what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear nothing about that. Bottom line is, man, give Harden his props, man. The man averaged 31-9. We #1 in the West. We over the mini USA Junior. It is what it is, man. They #1.
What Chris Paul averaging?
Chris Paul averaging like 15 and 8 or something, 15 and 9.
Boogie, I mean, AD ain't got nobody averaging 15 and 9.
Drew Holiday probably averaging something close to that.
He probably after last night he probably up there now.
Man, give Harden his props, man. 31-9. We #1 in the West, man.
Hey,
the bandwagon full, but you can run behind it.
You know, I ain't touching it. You know who I'm for.
Did you not see what happened last night?
Now, Jarrell Butler said, but Phoenix were consistently in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, but they lost. Get out of here.
Man, nobody remember Fort Please, man. Nobody remember Fort Please, man.
Nelly said it best. 2 is not a winner, 3 nobody remembers. That was the Suns, baby. They were 3. I ain't gonna lie, you played with them on live though, because you wanted to shoot with Nash and Patrick the star and let him do
Nash should have won one of those MVP awards. Obviously, Kobe Bryant should have won another.
No, he shouldn't have. Stop talking stupid. Kobe shouldn't have won. Kobe shouldn't have won MVP. He won.
So you trying to tell me Kobe Bryant should play 20 seasons and never play one MVP in the league?
Draw the name out of there. Stop looking at the name. My dog Shaq should have won a big buku times. How many he got? But do you hear Shaq complain? I ain't get the MVP. Hell no. Cause everybody, you knew when he titles. You know when he hit you with that wham bam thank you ma'am, or they hit you, put you in that black tornado, or hit you with the boom boom, it was going down.
He bigger than everybody.
Yeah,
but hell of a player.
Can't take that from him.
Man, I can show you a whole bunch of 7 feet people that played in the NBA that was garbage.
Thank you. Sam Bowie. Sam Bowie, #1 pick in the draft.
Sean Bradley. This boy was 7'2".
Georgia Mirason.
Come on, the list goes on and on.
What is 300 pounds?
I ain't gonna lie, now Brad Miller had a nice shoot, could shoot that thing, but
300 pounds?
Abina Sabonis.
He's bad.
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying?
Sabonis is bad.
You know what I'm saying? You got.
I ain't talking about 7 feet. I'm talking about size and athleticism. Yeah, check out size. and athleticism.
Brandon Haywood.
So you're mad? So you're mad because
Andrew Bynum.
You
want me to keep going?
Sean May.
Sean Miller was like 6'7".
Hey, I was just jumping on North Carolina bandwagon. Man. We were going out North Carolina. I was like, shit. As a Duke fan, anytime I can throw some dirt on somebody.
I'm about to say, you know Sean May was like 6'6".
Man, y'all own my Rockets. Man, listen, bro. Listen, don't get mad at me because we #1. Don't hate a player, hate the game.
You're half a game ahead.
I don't care we was 0.1 ahead. We #1, man. No, you know what the Warriors got? The Warriors got a mini USA Junior. We got 4 people on their team that was on the USA team. 4.
But
I can't make that up.
This is my question.
That's facts.
This is my question to a true Rockets fan. This is my question to a true Rockets fan. How much are you putting in weight to you know?
He compared it to
No.
USA Junior. Okay.
How much are you putting in weight that the Rockets will have a great season, or the Warriors have been here before? They've been to the title game 3 years in a row. You know, they know what it takes to advance, so they just, hey, we good enough to be here. We ain't trying to push it. How much you know?
That's gonna play a factor because their confidence is through the roof. You know, the Warriors, you could tell they got that persona about them. Like, look, when the playoffs get here, y'all better watch out. We gonna hit the switch, and y'all better watch the hell out. But at the same time, bro, what the Rockets are doing right now, you gotta really watch them play. I ain't talking about when we play somebody like the Clippers, like what we did them people last night. Watch the Rockets when we play somebody good.
Is Wesley Johnson in the league?
We're on a who?
Wesley Johnson. He didn't get cut yet? That was bad.
No.
Oh, my God.
We're on a 14-game win streak right now. We're #1 in the West for a goddamn reason, all right? And all I'm saying is we have the components to beat these people. And I said it on last week's show. When you got people like Bob Moute, who's a 6'9", could play the wing and play the post, could switch on pick and roll. P.J. Tucker, who could play the wing or the post, can switch on pick and roll. You got a rim protector in Clint Capella, who is playing phenomenal, by the way. He gonna get a max contract when his contract up. Trevor Ariza, who's a champion, who knows how to win, is a great role player. Mm-hmm. Chris Paul added that
Professionalism.
He brought us some kind of
leadership
to this team. Yeah, and I don't want to hear nothing about, like I say, he never been to a conference final, never been to a final. You know,
Chris Paul's a leader.
It is what it is. It happened. I think he's in a situation now. This is the best team Chris Paul's ever been on.
Facts.
And
he's never played with a player like James Harden in his career.
Never. And I'm telling y'all, man, the people are up to something. These people up to something. Watch out. We're going to beat them people in a 7-game series. And I'm telling you, top to bottom, they not better than the Rockets. They not. Only thing I don't want the media to start hyping us up saying we're the favorite going into that.
You got
series.
high hopes for you, brother.
I don't want to be the favorite. I want everybody to be saying it's the Warriors, and that's what we're going to sneak up on you and pounce on you like a cheetah. Man,
all I know is Anthony Ruffin made the comment of the night. Shaq changed the rules of the game when he came to the league.
He did. Hack a Shaq.
He ain't lying. He couldn't hit free throws, breaking goals. Say, bring him into the line. He changed the game this way.
But he still put 30 and 17 up.
Couldn't stop that.
Okay.
Change the game. But we got to switch gears a little bit, guys. Listen. Like that there. You know, we're going to get into LeBron James. And, you know, obviously he has some, you know, internet comments this week referring to the NCAA. I don't know if my producer got the comments. If you got the comments, put them up, please, because people have not heard what LeBron James, you know, LeBron James stated that, you know, he got his entire interview that he had, you know, media was talking to him after a practice. You know, it's like a 17-minute interview. But, so go listen to the entire interview if you heard it, because he had a lot of good things to say. But I only got the clip of him actually making the comments about the NCAA, and, you know, he made a comment about the NCAA being corrupt. So, producer, if you got it, you know, I appreciate if you can put that up for, you know, parents to listen to, and we're going to have our commentary about that, because it's big-time news. See what I'm saying? When LeBron James say something in sports, as far as basketball is concerned, gotta pay attention.
Man, they running this thing like a cartel. That's what the NCAA is doing, man.
Yeah.
You making billions and billions of dollars, and you trip out because somebody get paid a measly $100,000. Man, go play in traffic. Play in traffic, man. Come on, man. You tripping off that, man.
Yeah, we ready to produce.
The producer about to roll the video.
Roll the footage.
NCAA is correct. We know that. I'm sorry. It's going to make headlines, but it's correct. NCAA is.
Well, again, that's
short and sweet to the
short
point.
and sweet to the point. NCAA is corrupt. You know.
Look, man.
We all know.
All you gotta do is just go back to the Dale Brown days where he was coaching Shaq at LSU. How many agents was at the practice? Not to mention, if you go to Calipari days when he was at Memphis, when he had the team with Derrick Rose, Derrick Rose, Chris Douglas Rogers, Joey Dorsey.
Joey Dorsey, yeah.
You know, all them guys, the agents that are waiting out there. Man, look, here's the thing. NCAA is like the old slave movement. It's like the old slave movement. You know, they made their money off the backs of other people working. And now the revolution is at hand, and you try to do everything you can to stop it because people realize that they don't need you to make their brand work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody coming to watch the NCAA. You come and watch Kentucky versus Duke. You come watch Louisville versus North Carolina. You're not coming to watch the NCAA. You coming to watch these kids play. And the thing is, you getting paid $1 billion off of what this kid do, and you won't even. And it's illegal for his coach to buy him a Happy Meal from McDonald's because his mom doesn't get paid till next week. That's horrible. That's bad. What is you saying? And you trying to draw out. Well, you get a free education. Okay, you put. You a numbers guy.
Right.
Very analytical.
You know what I'm saying?
Cruncher.
Let's just use LSU as an example. Let's say you're an out-of-state kid coming to LSU. You're gonna pay $22,000 a semester to go to LSU. That's $44,000.
Yeah.
All right. So that $44,000 is going to that one kid on scholarship. All right. Let's say LSU make it to the NCAA tournament. Let's say this kid sells the most jerseys. You know, everybody's walking around the arena with his jersey on. You paying tickets, and he's on TV, and you pulling him out of class, which they don't tell a lot of people, to interview him because ESPN want to talk to you, this network want to talk to you. You drawing all the cameras from you, and you expected him to say things, and you just made $1 million off of this one kid alone in like an hour.
Ratings, advertisement.
You know, that's why I said just an hour. You just made $1 million off this kid. He didn't more than 20 times went over the amount of that scholarship.
Correct.
Why you can't draw him something? Draw him a percentage. Am I saying give this kid $1 million? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is make it fair to where if you play in this conference, or if you're lucky enough to play in this conference, you play this sport, each player gets X amount of money, regardless. It's not going to stop your money making. Hell, just take college football alone. Just with LSU, stay in the SEC, with LSU and Bama alone, that's just one side of the conference. The
Georgia.
SEC made close to $500 million just off of apparel, ticket sales, advertisement, them being on national TV, the bowls, the bowl games, you know, and just overall like attention being drawn to them. It made over $500 million just off of those two. The numbers are there. So you trying to tell me Leonard Fournette not supposed to get $500,000 his whole career playing for them when he's the marquee guy of the whole conference, not the team. He's the guy. When people talk about SEC, they'll talk about Leonard Fournette and such and such and such. You got to pay these kids straight up.
And I agree with that because how it should go off of however much the conference is, how much ever revenue they bringing in. That's how you need to calculate how much these players are getting. Now, what a fine line gonna come in at is basketball can't get paid. Basketball players can't get paid what the football players getting paid because the football players are bringing in more revenue.
Right.
So that's what's gonna get dicey. But at the same time, man, look,
You know the sport you play.
right. But at the same time, someone like Louisville, the basketball team is bringing in more revenue than the football team.
Take your lick.
So, you know, they just gotta figure out a system and figure out a way how to pay these kids. I mean, bro, it ain't hard, bro. I mean, on a football team, what 60 players, 70 players?
You can hold 9. You have 9
You
scholarships.
can have 90 scholarship players in college football.
You sure it's 90?
90.
Think about it. If you got 25, 25, and 25, you get 25 scholarships a year.
You go 90.
And then let's say you get 20. Let's say you got 15 seniors.
Right.
They all on scholarship. That's 90.
Okay, so out of the 90, whatever conference you in, let's say you're in the SEC.
Right.
I know the SEC making bank. Okay, and you break that down. Like, say the SEC making $900 million a year. You take
Plus, they got their own TV network.
right. You take out of that $900 million. You take
That's
what?
running to $1 billion.
Huh?
That's running to $1
That
billion.
billion. They making $1 billion a year. So you take out of that billion, you take what? $100 million.
If that.
If that.
If that, and you divide that $100 million between how many SEC schools it is?
Right.
13.
13. You divide that $100 million
14.
between
14. You got to be.
you divide that $100 million between those 13 schools, and break it down between those 90 players.
Right.
I mean, they might be bringing home. I'm not good in math. You the analytical guy. They might be bringing in a month. What? Maybe
They'll still be
$3,000 or something like that.
They're still bringing a good chunk of change.
Yeah.
I
know
know
what
what
I'm
I'm saying?
saying?
In my head right quick, but they
$3,000. That's damn good for a high school, for a college student.
And
They're bringing up a good change.
You take away the fact that they can't work.
They can't work.
They can't sign an autograph. It's illegal. You can't. If somebody will take a picture with you, it might be illegal. So you trying to put all these. You trying to protect your investment and not letting these kids live.
I heard LeBron James say something. I'm going to read a comment right quick. Jarrell Butler says, AD, president, shoe companies, boosters, and obviously all these guys are.
He says modern day slavery.
Modern day slavery. Akeem Baptiste said something about the Rockets. If the Rockets get home court advantage, they have a punching chance, but I don't think they'll win the 7-game series at Oracle. And I'm going to kind of leave it right there because I know we're off that there. But we're talking about the NCAA. I heard LeBron James something. If we go back and listen to the interview, he said something to me that really it changed my whole perspective about this. He said, listen, here's the fact. A lot of people are talking about, players getting paid because they're getting paid through, obviously, their tuition getting paid. But he said something to me that is so inspiring. He said this. They're recruiting these kids not for academic reasons. They're recruiting these kids to get to the Final Four. They're recruiting these kids to win national championships. So in essence, what you got to understand is that these kids are not being recruited for academic reasons. They're not recruiting this kid to become the engineer who going to build Hill Pilon Bridge over here. That's not why he's recruiting this kid. He's recruiting this kid. He's recruiting these 90 kids to get to the national championship. He's recruiting these 15 kids to get to a Final Four so we can get this pot of money.
Right.
So then this is work.
Right.
They're recruiting these kids for work. And so for them not to be compensated beyond education, because you're not recruiting for education reasons. See what I'm saying? So this scholarship money is irrelevant to getting an education because you're not recruiting for that reason.
Right.
It's different if that kid got tops and that kid got a grant and that kid got all these things. That's for educational purposes. You are recruiting these kids for work, for athletic reasons and athletic reasons alone to generate this money.
Yeah, you recruiting them for money.
You're recruiting them for money. So this is work. So for you to believe that you don't have to compensate them or pay them something is beyond me. Now, granted, that wasn't my take, but if you listen to the interview, that's what he said, and it just took my mind to the whole nother level. I said, dang, I never really looked at it that way. Because the reality is, when you are a college basketball player, the ones who going pro, they only sign up for one semester. They're getting enough grades to get eligible for this semester. And the next semester, they're already eligible. So guess what? Forget going to class. I'm out of here anyway. I'm not even attending campus. Why? Because I'm trying to make sure I don't get injured, so I get a payday, so I can get compensated for this basketball. Because you recruited me for money, I'm trying to get money. And I understand because you're not paying me no money. So at the end of the day, it's beyond my thinking now to believe that kids should not be compensated for work. What job anybody's going on right now and not getting paid? This ain't no internship. This is for money.
That was the bad thing I was about to say. I'm more adverse with the football rules from the NCAA than I am with the basketball, just in my profession. But just think about it. The football rule said that a college institution can practice you on the field for 20 hours of the week. That's on the field. That's 4 hours a day. Because most times you're not going to practice really on a Friday or stuff like or Friday. They don't count into the meetings, the weightlifting, the other stuff that goes into it. So you talk about a kid you talk about a kid, 17, 18-year-old kid that's going to have to wake up at 5. His day's going to start at like 4 o'clock in the morning. He's going to put in at least 9 hours just to that sport.
Right.
Plus, he has to go to all his classes. And then he probably have maybe 2 hours of free time. He's living a full-time, grown-up life.
This is work.
He's living that's just like I stay in Hammond and I work at home. I gotta wake up and I gotta be there at 7. I mean, I'm waking up at 4:30 on the road at 5 just to be there working at time every day. I'm getting a check for that.
Right.
But you expect this kid not to.
Not to.
And not no help. And the only thing that the NCAA do, they give you a supplement check, and it's like $500 a semester.
It's not enough. These kids.
What the hell is $500 a semester gonna do for a kid?
Like I heard Richard Sherman say something like maybe this was like a couple of seasons ago, and I listened to him because he's a very smart guy when he speaks. And people, he a lot of times it's a lot of arrogance.
He's a Sigma, man. That's why he's a Sigma.
Well,
You sure? I'm positive, baby.
But he said something about when he was recruited to go to Stanford. He said they always reiterated to you when you were a college athlete. You could probably attest to this that you're here for football reasons. You're here for academic. You're here for athletic reasons. You see what I'm saying?
Richard Sherman said somebody told him that.
Somebody told him that.
His coach told him that.
Told that. You're here for athletic reasons. If it ain't for athletic reasons, you out of here. You see what I'm saying? So this is your job first. Forget this classroom stuff. This is that's a benefit to this. But reality is you're here for football. And if you ain't here to play football, then you don't need to be here. And so when you have that mentality and you telling scholarship players that mentality, then why shouldn't these kids not believe that I should not be compensated for doing work? This is work. And it mind blows me now, because we've been having this conversation probably since when I was a college kid in 2003, 2004, and people felt like Reggie Bush, people getting paid money and blah, 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 because he's the most marketable guy in college football. Why not?
Right.
Y'all lost y'all mind. You know how big the dude is, bigger than USC.
Right.
At the time, using him as the example.
Johnny Manziel.
You
know how much money Texas A&M made on Johnny?
Vince Young. Vince Young at the time.
Just think about the U.
Miami. Clinton Portis, Frank Gore, all them, Sean Taylor, Kellen Winslow, and the list goes on. Everybody was marketable except Ken Dorsey.
And he was marketable for the right community.
Just at that time, Maurice Claret,
Cam Newton.
Newton.
Lamar
Jackson.
Lamar Jackson.
Louisville
this year. It's just mind-boggling.
The list goes on and on, man.
The list goes on.
Fournette at LSU. It's just crazy. Like
Honey Badger.
Tyrann Matthew.
And
Patrick Peterson when he was there.
When you go to the games, the first thing they do, like we witnessed it this year, go to the LSU game, who on the ticket? Darius Geis. Is he getting money for that? You're using his likeness. Yeah. You losing his likeness. You selling.
My ticket had number 5 on it.
You know what I'm saying?
600 level.
You know what I'm saying? Everything you do is also about the players. You look at the program. It's the kids on there. Yeah, Coach O was in the F side, but they had the kids on there. You selling these for $20 a pop. Man, you go to the concession stand, they got cups. They got Cane's cups with certain players on there. Mm-hmm. You paying $10 for the cup. What a player cup.
I think, like I said.
And most kids buying that because, Darius Geis on there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Leonard Fournette on there. That's why they buying the cup.
Right.
Not buying the cup because they like that cup.
They ain't buying the cup because they like the cup. They ain't buying because you got purple and gold all over.
All you got to do is go to the camps.
Look, I remember when I was young, I forgot the name of this cereal. It was nasty as hell. Deion Sanders was on that though. Whatever the cereal he was on, it was
Wheaties?
It wasn't Wheaties. It was something, bro. This cereal was nasty. I begged my mama to buy that cereal because Deion Sanders was on there. And it's just going to your point that these people are making money because they put these players on these cups and all kind of other things.
Right.
And these kids are not getting compensated for it. Johnny Manziel, the number 2 jersey, know his name went on the back, but everybody in America knew who that jersey was. And I want to say that people say they made like $1.3 million off his jersey sales. Did he see any of that money?
No.
Come on, man. Come on, bro.
Cam Newton number 2 jersey.
But you expect them to go. You expect them to say yes sir, no sir. You know, just
and then they got mad because I think he did like a private autograph session in his hotel room or something.
And he got paid for it.
And he had to pay all that money back.
That was crazy. You trying to tell me that everybody in USC still won number 5 jersey? We knew who number 5 was.
Modern day slavery, like Jarrell Butler said. That's what it is.
That's crazy. It's a sad world that we live in.
So I'm with LeBron James on this. Reality is, for a guy who did not play college, he was not participating in NCAA, for him to come out and say that made it to me even more like a testament to it, because at the end of the day, it's like, you talking about a guy who says this and didn't play in college basketball, he didn't go to college. You see what I'm saying? Lonzo Ball came out here and said it perfectly. Oh, everybody know everybody getting paid. This ain't nothing new. Now, granted, he may not have to be paid to go to UCLA, but he's, obviously, because, he had a lot of stardom going into that. But we know what we're talking about. You see what I'm saying? And I think my producer got the Lonzo Ball video of that. Play the Lonzo Ball video.
Has Kyle been handling today the fact that he was named in that investigation for having gotten some money from an agent in school?
He's an NBA now. He really don't care. So, whatever happened in the past, now he's just living it.
Do you think that college athletes should be paid?
I do. I mean, all the money they generate from programs and stuff, it's kind of an unfair system. I mean, everybody knows everybody's getting paid. That's how it is. But everybody's getting paid anyway. You might as well just make it legal. So that's how it is.
Did you get money from agents when you were in school?
Nah.
Was that because you weren't really?
Just my dad was. My dad's not big on that, so kind of just focused on going there and getting. Basically, just get the NCAA to change based on playing players. Like I said, all the money that you generate, March Madness, all the numbers, doesn't really add up in my opinion. So hopefully, that makes some little things just change.
Lonzo Ball right there, with his comments in. Okay, the echo's going. That was Lonzo Ball's comments about, everybody's getting paid. And this is a guy who was in college basketball last year.
Right.
We're not talking about a guy who was, from 2003 with LeBron, was coming out. You see what I'm saying? We talking about a guy who's in college basketball last year. Talking about where everybody getting paid. In his case, he may not have to be compensated because of the things that, his dad was able to do media-wise to put a lot of, emphasis on him and his ability to play basketball. But other guys, this ain't new news. This ain't new at all for guys getting paid, getting compensated. Anthony Ruffin says this, man, NCAA getting over. Athletes getting the short end, not to mention how much work these kids do on and off the field, and they have to maintain grades. He also makes this statement here, say, 2-a-day conditioning meetings for film study, having a curfew, being prepped for interviews, running stadiums or the whole campus at 5 a.m., then go to class at 8 a.m., kids have a full-time job. I can't argue with that. You see what I'm saying? You're recruiting these kids for, again, like I said what LeBron James said, and he nailed it. You're recruiting these kids for, revenue reasons. You're recruiting these kids to try to get to a Final Four or get to a national championship or get to in this case, a BCS. Sell tickets for a BCS bowl game. You're recruiting these kids. If these kids could not bring revenue to the sport, and these kids were not athletic, these kids could not get in these schools. So you're recruiting them for work reasons and work reasons alone. So to say that they can't be compensated no more is beyond me anymore. It's beyond me. You see what I'm saying? You can recruit. Leonard Fournette, would you recruit Leonard Fournette if he didn't have the ability to be marketable at LSU?
I just think about, like this goes way back. Just think about Michigan basketball before the Fab Five got there. Don't nobody talking about them there, Michigan basketball. Then they came and they
put
had
Michigan basketball on the map.
Culture shock. How much money did they make off of them five together? And then you use them again when the year that they made the championship run, when they lost to North Carolina, you talk about, man, this is the closest they've been since the Fab Five, and you had them come back, and everybody was back except Chris Webber, and so you kept replaying the Fab, so you made more and more money off them again. Then they did the ESPN 30 for 30 on them, so then you done got paid 3 times off the back of 5 players that had never seen the money from that.
Exactly.
That's horrible.
And Chris Webber still can't come on
Boss Slamma Jamma.
And just think about how many schools that the athletic program saves the school from closing down. Look, LSU is a state institution. They were struggling with money until LSU Athletics started the Tiger Foundation, and the Tiger Foundation gives like a 25%, 25% of whatever they make the whole year back to the school. That's the only that saved them when Governor Bell was talking about like, man,
shutting it down.
We might have to shut down. I mean, we got all this money right here every time, and that's why when like GyPatrick Peterson, Tyrann Matthews, Shaquille O'Neal, when they donate money to LSU, they don't donate it to LSU school. They donate it to the Tiger Foundation, and the Tiger Foundation, spreads it out. That's what a lot of schools are starting to follow LSU footprints with that. Just protect themselves. To keep all their money to themselves. So you got, just think about, can you imagine that bank account that LSU got right now?
It's sitting pretty.
You know what I'm
saying?
A
lot of zeros.
And you try to tell me that, and the thing is, I think more coaches will be opposed to doing it. I think certain coaches, like a Coach O, what's Clemson? I got his face. Dabo Swinney. I think coaches like this will have no problem. There you go. Go ahead, because I know you're struggling. I know you need help. You fall away from home. Go ahead. Take care of what you got to take care of. But then you got other coaches like a Chris Peterson, like, nope. You know what it was when you signed a letter of intent. I'm not, saying if you expected me to pay you, even though it's legal now, you go ahead and go to the. I could see some coaches like that, because that's a reason why they don't go to the NFL, because they can't sit there and let somebody that make more than them tell them what they can't and can't do. That's part of that. I'm in control. I'm
in control. That's the reason why they coach college football or college athletic sports.
Because you won't have that to worry about. When money comes in, it's different egos. It's different, and then you got to deal with it's something that they got to worry about. Well, coach, how come Jeremiah get paid more than me? How come Fred get paid more than me? I got more tackles than him, coach. I made all FCC. How come they give? Well, I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? I need me. That take all that out.
Right, because if you're not paying nobody, then it's paid, and when you become a professional, then here it is. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
And it's incentive based.
It's incentive based.
And then I think the NCAA should do that too. This is the baseline of what everybody get, but if you make it to an all conference team, you get this one. If you make it to an all tournament team in basketball and baseball situation, you get this much. If you make it to the AP All American team, you get
it's a Heisman Trophy finalist.
Right, you get
for every award that you individually get, you get this and this and that. And watch how much more the game means to these kids now.
Yeah.
You look, if you would have told Leonard Fournette that, hey, look, you get if y'all win this bowl game and if you have 150 yards rushing, you getting an extra $200,000. You think he's sitting out? Nah, I'm a kid from New Orleans. I got a little baby at home. Yeah,
gotta get this. I got the.
That can start. That can kickstart what I got going. Everybody know I'm going to the league anyway. After this, that 200 can hold me over until I get that nice. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's gonna come. I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon, but I think probably in about the next 4 or 5 years,
right,
we can see that start to take place in college sports.
Yeah, Anthony Ruffin said too. I know about the switch gears, but just think about how much the coaches are getting paid. You crying over DeAndre Ayton getting $100,000, but you got Sean Miller who making $1.3 million a year.
Oh, he making more than that.
He making more than that.
But that what he made this year, 1.3.
That's it.
I know Calipari.
So more than that.
Calipari makes 7.9. Coach K makes 8.9.
When they had him about to say his ESPN press conference, that's what they put across the screen. I don't know how correct it is.
Right.
But that, you know what? That might be legit. He hasn't made it to the Final Four. He hasn't.
That's still a lot of money.
He hasn't won a national championship. So That might be his ballpark figure.
I know Coach K gets paid 8.9. I know Calipari getting paid 7.9, and I think Roy Williams is not that far away.
Right.
And nor is Bill Self. Bill Self ain't that far away.
Hell, Will Wade getting 1.5.
Guys, listen, coaches making money, and that's just not the head coach. Those assistants over there, them guys ain't that far away.
Well, I don't know how much they do in basketball, but
in football,
oh, yeah.
Shit, guys getting a check. Guys getting $1 million assistants. You know what I mean? Or coordinators for that matter. Guys are getting paid. So I don't know how much of that money will affect that. But reality is this. This is all coming to a head because these numbers of how much these guys are getting paid is starting to become too much of public knowledge. Mm-hmm. And when it becoming all this public knowledge and you got Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook and all these other things, listen, it's on a matter of time before I can't fathom that you are making this much money and feel like if I go get a Snicker from somebody across the street over there, it's illegal.
Right. Right.
They say holy wide wait.
It can't happen. You see what I'm saying? But listen, we gotta get ready to shift gears. A lot of NFL talk about. You got the combine this weekend. Got the quarterbacks in the draft. Who we think are gonna be a bust. You got guys who wanna get paid. Veterans coming up. Odell Beckham. I want $20 million.
Pay that man.
What y'all gonna do?
Pay that man.
Pay that man. Well, listen. Let's get into the NFL right quick, guys. Top-rated quarterbacks. We know who they are. Sam Darnold, John Rosen, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield. I don't know if I want to slide Mason Randolph in there. I don't know about that.
Mason Rudolph.
Man,
you got a problem messing people's names up, man. You got messing people's names up, man.
Stick with the numbers. Let us do it.
Yeah. You keep the names up all the time.
You call the man John Rosen, Josh Rosen.
Josh Rosen.
But Lamar Miller and Mason Rudolph.
Lamar Miller.
I'm bad now. Lamar Jackson. I'm bad.
Lamar Jackson out of Louisville.
Lamar Jackson and Mason Rudolph. I think they either day one or day two, early day two.
Day two guys. We talking about maybe 6 guys. Out of this draft class coming up, who do we looking at and say, man, this guy's gonna probably be a bust?
To me, it's too early. I don't know your situation. I don't know what some teams gonna have to. Are they gonna change philosophy when they get a certain quarterback? Are you going to get them some help? What's your offensive line status? Can you run the ball? It's hard to say this guy's going to be a bust right now because you don't know what they're going to. I say the guy who's going to be at the most disadvantage is whoever the Jets take because I think that's a team that has so much holes to fill. Matt Forte just retired. The offensive line is not that great. Elijah McGuire is the only running back. But
Powell.
Bilal Powell.
Right.
Receivers, you got your best receiver just got is arrested in Florida for doing something crazy. You don't have no help. You have a defensive-minded coach. The offensive coordinator is. You could do a better job on Madden.
Right.
So to me, I say it's just too early to say this guy's a bust.
This situation is going to predicate based upon where they go.
Because I tell you now, to me,
who can start right away? Who can play right away if you have to pick them?
Depending on your situation.
That situation. Because to me, I say it like this. I think Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield are the best quarterbacks out the bunch, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But if Josh Rosen or John Allen, let's say they just fall in the draft and they fall to number 5 and they sitting there and the Broncos say, "Give me him." Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what, that's who's gonna have the best year.
Right.
Because that team is better equipped to win now. You can run the ball. You have a decent offensive line. You got 2 more than capable wide receivers. And you have a defense that's not going to put you in bad situations. So, they will have a better year. But it just, to me, I say it's too early to call bust on any draft prospects until you see what that situation lines out after the draft.
I would say this, and I watched college football this year thoroughly. I got a chance to watch a lot of these obviously people were projecting prior to the season being over these 2 Pac-12 quarterbacks with Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold. No one really got a chance to really see Josh Allen out of Wyoming. Don't listen. No one sat at home unless you're from Wyoming. Watch Wyoming games.
I watched them.
I watched the bowl game.
I watched the bowl game. I saw them versus Central Michigan. I watched that game. But if you told me you watched every regular season game of Wyoming, I'm sorry, I didn't buy it. I didn't watch it. But I did see them play against Central Michigan. And he was pretty good. He was really impressive. Actually, in that first half, he threw like 4 touchdowns. He was really, really good. But I watched maybe 3 or 4 USC games this year. And I did not really like what I seen with Sam Darnold got under pressure because he had a lot of the hype coming into this college football year as a quarterback. And when I saw him got under pressure, when people blitzed him, I saw interceptions. I saw a guy who didn't understand and say, okay, live to play another down, throw the football away, get out of the pocket, make the best football play, but you can play another down. Or if it's third down, listen, this is a turnover down, the defense won. I didn't see that out of Sam Darnold.
He fumbled too much for me, too.
I saw picks. I saw him fumble the football. I saw a lot of mistakes for a guy who threw for 4,000 yards in college football this year. So to me, I'm sitting
4,000?
He threw for 4,000.
You sure?
Positive.
Where you get them stats from?
God damn.
Pull them up on ESPN. I'm telling you, that kid threw for 4,000 yards. He got a lot of picks with him, but he threw for 4,000 yards.
That's
you wouldn't think it.
That number is staggering in college football. That's like, wow.
You wouldn't think it. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone because I'm telling you, this guy here threw for a lot of yards. And then, right now, college football is not the dominant thinking on sports, but this kid threw for a lot of yards. And I'm saying to myself, for a kid threw a lot of yards and had a lot of picks, I'm like, something ain't right. Let me see here. Ranking total yards, Mason Rudolph.
He threw for 3,000. 3,700.
That's still a lot.
37. Yeah, Mason Rudolph threw for 4,500. He threw for 3,700.
That's what Mike Gundy gonna do. Mike Gundy gonna.
He gonna throw the football. Baker Mayfield throw for 4,300. So I'm saying to myself, for a guy who threw for those many yards, and I don't really think the Pac-12 is a very good defensive league, as far as defensively. And so I'm saying to myself, I'm not liking what I'm seeing when he blitzing. This is a situation where our team maybe look at this dude and pick him high, and he got to start right away. And I'm saying to myself, this is a bust waiting to happen. Because if you can't get this kid here and get him to the right coordinator or the right situation, if he has to start like day one, like Carson Wentz had to start or Andrew Luck had to start right away, I'm saying to myself, Sam Darnold's a bust waiting to happen. Because the second you pressure this kid, I didn't see it in college. I didn't see him being able to say, okay, a play is dead. He tried to make plays because he knew he had the physical ability. And plus, being at USC, you had a guy like Ronald Jones II. You had receivers. So he had athletic players.
Right.
So he always felt like he could make the play. At the pro level, he may have some, he don't have pro players, but he may not understand that this play is dead. This play is over with. Versus like some of the other guys who realize, they didn't have that situation. So to me, depending on where he goes, if he gets drafted to the New York Giants, he's not playing right away, that may not be the case. But if he gets drafted to a team like, obviously I think anybody's a bust if they get picked to the Browns. But if he gets picked to a team like the Cardinals, who probably will have to play right away because they don't have a quarterback there because Carson Palmer retired, I think he ends up being the bust of this draft.
I don't want to go there and say who's the biggest bust because, like Big Hen said, you don't look good at your situation. So, but I'm gonna tell you who I think who's the most hype. Josh Allen, the kid from Wyoming. So people are so big on trying to find the next Carson Wentz, one of those unknown quarterbacks that played in one of these pool conferences and try to find this diamond in the rough, and they searching all over head and shoulders for people. And Josh Allen sitting at 6'5", and he has a fantastic arm. But I'm gonna tell you, Josh Allen had 2 times to catch my eye. They played Iowa and they played Oregon. That was because their schedule is not good at all.
Right.
But that was 2 games where he had his chance to put his name up there with the upper echelon quarterbacks. And he didn't play good in those 2 games.
Right.
And so I'm not saying he can't go to the NFL and be a good quarterback, because if he goes to a situation like the Patriots or something and Tom Brady retires and he plays behind Tom Brady for 2 years, and you know, he could possibly be a good quarterback.
Right.
So because he has the tools. But I'm saying I think he's the most hyped. Because the 2 games against Iowa and Oregon, that was a stiff competition he went against, he didn't look good.
Right.
Baker Mayfield, I think that kid has a chance to be special. Just his leadership qualities, he has a lot of things about him that people don't like. You know, grabbing his penis
the wrong way.
And going to the midfield and getting to with people at the coin toss and things like that. He's a little fiery and things like that. But he doesn't do anything to make me be like,
I wouldn't take him.
I think he had a situation where he had a public intoxication or something like that too. That's why I was kind of skeptical of the Saints picking. Being in New Orleans on Bourbon Street, being able to walk around and drink in your hand in the league, I don't know how much he can be able to take that. So
I still want.
Right. But I think that, you know, if he was coming in without somebody like Drew Brees at the quarterback position to be able to show him how to be a pro and mold him, I'd be like, no, don't take him. But
having Drew makes you like, you can take that kid.
Baker Mayfield is somebody that I'm big on. He can make all the throws. His size doesn't bother me at all. I mean, look at Russell Wilson. Look at Drew Brees.
Right.
You know, so I think he could come in and be a very, very impactful quarterback in this draft. Lamar Jackson is the wild card. He's one of those guys, he's either going to be really good in the NFL or he's going to be really bad. It ain't going to be no in-between with him. So
I think it's a situation. I think it's one of those situations, if they try to do like they did with Robert Griffin III, if you try to make him Cam Newton-like, what happened to Robert Griffin is going to happen to him. If you let him be a Donovan McNabb-like, be passive first and then run, I think you're saying.
You got to treat this like Bill O'Brien, the head coach for the Texans, said. Man, he came out and said he looked at every tape from Deshaun Watson's college career. He said he took them dumb plays that he did good. He said, we taking it out of our playbook. I mean, no, the plays that he did good, he said, that's what we're going to use in our playbook. The plays that he did not look good and he did bad, he eliminated from their playbook. And he used that in his offense for Deshaun Watson. That's why Deshaun Watson was so successful before he tore his ACL. And you got to do the same thing with Lamar Jackson. You look at his tape, he don't do this good. He don't do that good. We're not going to use this in our playbook. He do that good, he do that good, he do that good. That's what we're going to use in our playbook, and we're going to run with it.
Right.
Okay? Ron Rivera even said when Cam Newton came in the league, they made whoever the offensive coordinator was at the time for the Carolina Panthers, they was like, look, he can't read go through 4 progressions. We're going to make you read one side of the field, go through 2 progressions. If it ain't done, improvise. And that's the kind of things you got to do to make somebody be successful early on in their career. And in the second year, you start taking them baby steps.
Right.
Like, look, now we gonna increase your load to 3rd progression, 4th progression. First year, put them in a situation to be successful, man. So that's what I think. I think Josh Allen has the biggest chance to be the biggest bust because he is the most hyped, and he has 2 games against competition to show that he's a good quarterback. He didn't do that. But I think Baker Mayfield is the quarterback that has the most potential to be the greatest out of everybody. But Lamar Jackson is the guy who I think he's going to be really bad in the league or he's going to be really good. It ain't going to be no in-between. So that's the 3 guys that I'm going to have my eye on this year coming for the draft.
If the really good or really bad, I think that goes to me. I'll get it to Sam Darnold.
I don't even think Sam Darnold is a first-round pick.
Me either.
But
he's the second. Because my thing is, and I know you're not supposed to judge what previous players have done coming out of the university, but I look at quarterbacks that came out of USC. Outside of Carson Palmer, I can't name a good one.
They all flopped.
And they all went first round.
Or they all got drafted and had played.
And the sad truth is the one that was the least talented out of the group had the most successful career in Mark Sanchez, all because his situation allowed to. But when they went to like, all right, let you be the guy, then that fell real bad. To me, he just fumbles way too much. Then you look at these high. This
What if he got small hands?
He does. He does have small hands.
So he can't go nowhere in cold weather. So that kind of eliminates him from people like the Jets.
But that's the high draft teams. You know, bad weather, AFC North. You can't put no kid like that.
Giants.
Now somebody like Josh Allen, look, he's played in that condition. And the thing I like about him, I know he's getting a lot of hype. The thing I like about him, though, he works hard. He's had 3 different offensive coordinators. He mastered every playbook that he's had when he was in college. Then he's more athletic than what people get. He's that sneaky athletic kid that can he got the cannon.
Yeah, he got the cannon.
He can run. And I think I remember the Oregon game, and one of the things I was looking like, his supporting cast is good enough for the conference that they play in.
When you go against competition.
But when you go against competition, it's like now when you get, it's tough. Look, it's tough for pro quarterbacks to make the perfect throw every single time. And in that Oregon game, man, they just stepped up and said, "Look, we gonna press. The guys can't get off the ball, and we blitzing." You know, and whatever happens, happens. And he struggled. That was just as a defensive guy and as a defense coordinator, that was just supposed to look. What is he good at? He needs time. He good at going 1, 2, 3, 4 back to 1. Look, let's take that out the equation. Let's put people in his face and let's press these guys and see what they can do. You know, so I'm not going to judge him by the 2 bad games, but like what G said, that was the game that
he had a chance.
That put him on the national stage. For those who didn't just set out and let's watch this guy. I think the most intriguing one is Josh Rosen, though. You don't know, what is he good at? What is he not good at? You don't know.
You don't know.
And so I think he might, all in all, he
got
might,
a cannon too.
He might be the best overall one because he's the best kept secret, even though he's a high name guy. Because you don't know what you're like, all right, you assume, like he got an arm. You assume that he can handle a playbook, but you're not really sure. You really don't know. And the one that you do know about, he's a hell of a competitor.
But the thing about Josh Rosen,
he's not a peaceful person.
The thing about Josh Rosen, that the reason why I didn't even bring him up as one of the quarterbacks that I'm most intrigued to watch is because, first of all, his love for the game is in question. They don't know how much he loves football, man. I mean, they don't know if he's going to play football for 5+ years.
Right.
We don't know. And then they got a lot of reports coming out saying that he wasn't a good teammate. He wasn't a good leader. So I don't know about Josh Rosen. He got a lot of question marks surrounding him. But far as ability wise and a skill set, he has the skill set to be an NFL quarterback and be successful. But it's all the other things that I have question about. And I'm gonna tell you something, bro. If you can't be a leader and lead people of your peers, how the hell you gonna go to the NFL and lead grown men?
That's a difficult thing to do. But I will say this: a lot of the situation is gonna depend on when you look at a Carson Wentz being drafted by Doug Peterson. You're looking at Jared Goff having a former quarterback, a guy who is. We talk about situations. You see what I'm saying? A lot of these teams that are looking for quarterbacks, but outside of the Giants, who just got past, Shermer, their head coach now, who can groom a quarterback. You're looking at the team like the Cardinals, who head coach is a defensive guy. Now, what's going to help out the Browns is you got Ty Haley there, who can coordinate the offense. But I think he's more of a veteran quarterback than a rookie, kind of teaching offensive skill set. So a lot of times, what's going to hurt some of these dudes is being there with a young head coach, you see what I'm saying, a guy who's really into quarterbacks and help groom with, like when you're looking at, even with Dak Prescott, with Jason Garrett, you see what I'm saying, he had a great rookie year, struggled his second year, but Jason Garrett is a former quarterback. You're looking at Drew and Sean Payton. A lot of times, it's going to help some of these guys. So if I'm a guy, I'm saying to myself, damn, I want to be a New York Giant right now because Pat Sherman can help groom me to be a quarterback I can be. But if I'm looking at the Cardinals, who got a defensive, head coach, I don't know who the coordinator is, so can I really be the best? The Cardinals.
Yeah, Aaron's retired.
Aaron's retired.
I know what I'm saying. Who?
It was the Cardinals. It was the Panthers' former D coordinator.
So it was. All right. Yeah.
So I don't know who the coordinator is in Arizona. So I mean, when Bruce Arians there, I probably, because Bruce Arians is an offensive guy, I probably could be groomed into being a good quarterback. But I don't know about this D coordinator. I don't know who the offensive coordinator, the head coach. I don't know who the offensive coordinator is. So I don't know if I could. It's the best situation as it was for previous seasons.
But I'm gonna tell you too, the coach might be in discussion about trying to get a quarterback because we don't know what's going to happen with Andrew Luck. And then, Frank Reich is an offensive-minded guy. He's a former quarterback. So they could possibly be in a running to get one of these quarterbacks in the draft.
Exactly.
So it's going to be interesting because there are a lot of reports coming out by Andrew Luck. They saying this guy might not even be ready.
He's going to sit again.
He said again. So you got to take a guy because, again, that's another situation. You say to yourself, okay, do you get a guy? Like San Fran did. They traded for Garoppolo because why? Kyle Shanahan is an offensive guy. He's going to help groom that quarterback to where he think he needs him to be. It's a good situation. But when you're looking at some of these other kids who coming out, they pick, I give you an example. Last year, we talked about, Pat Mahomes. And guess what? Going to the Chiefs. And then, looking at Deshaun Watson, looking at going to the, obviously, Bill O'Brien. Situation. But we don't know. It's only one good situation I see. And that's the Giants or even the Colts. After that, it's a bunch of defensive coordinators.
I don't even think that, to me, the best situation is the situation that we're not talking about. Situation like the Chargers. Aging quarterback, still got 2 or 3 years left. They can teach him.
Anthony Lynn is an offensive guy.
Something like I think that's the best situation. Like whoever because those guys, like the teams like the Saints or the Chargers, they're not going to be in a big market for the quarterback, but that's somebody that they can get a quarterback. It's not pressure for you to play right now.
All right, I got to agree with that. Also, got to shift gears. People leave our comments on the stream. Want to talk Odell Beckham Jr.
Pay the man.
Odell Beckham came out publicly, letting everybody know contract time coming up. How do we feel about a receiver getting paid $20 million? Odell says he said this. He wants $20 million plus. Minimum. $20 million minimum. If you New York Giants, you on the clock. Because this is the 5th year of his deal. Where you at? Odell Beckham Jr. Pay that man or what?
I've never been the type of guy to say, you play this position, so this is what your number should be. I think about what does that guy mean for you? How big, how important it for your team? And then the NFL is more business than anything. So how big is it, marketable wise? What fans come behind the guy? The thing is, you seen the numbers. Just look at the Giants team last year without Odell. We was talking about man, they about to do some things.
We had them in the Super Bowl contention.
And without Odell, it was like, ooh, wait, what's going on?
Second overall pick.
Second
overall pick.
To me, he's more than rejuvenized that offense without a run game. When he's 100% healthy, he's elite. He's top 5 in the league. He does it for you returning and receiving wise. He's worth it. He's young. He's young. You drafted him.
Right.
Don't just groom him and let him walk like the Dolphins are about to do with Jarvis Landry. Pay that man money. You seen what your offense was. What you seen firsthand life without Odell. You can't maintain. It wasn't nobody there that struck fear in opposing defenses. And you had a veteran quarterback.
I would say this. Me as a GM, I took a look at this earlier. Antonio Brown is making $17 million. That's the highest paid wideout. After that, DeAndre Hopkins is up there, top 5, and Julio Jones is up there. And I think about $20+ million a season. I'm looking at myself and I'm saying to myself, okay, that's quarterback money. That's the category we're in. Now, we got to ask ourselves this question here. Is Odell Beckham a player, athletic-wise, that does not just value for his team, but we talking about paying a guy $20+ million that's not a quarterback? Is he valued at that? Athletic-wise, yes. The things he's done his first 4 seasons as an NFL wideout, I think he deserves every nickel of $20 million plus. But when you start thinking about paying a guy $20 million, he needs to be the leader of your team if he's not the quarterback of the team. And that's where the problem I come in at. Because Odell Beckham Jr. has not showed that he is the leader of the New York Football Giants. That's still ran whole by, obviously, Eli Manning. But Odell Beckham has showed that on occasions that he is a loose cannon on the field, and I don't think everybody inside the locker room sees him as the next guy who can be a person that can break everybody together and be the leader. If you're talking about paying him quarterback money, is he worth it athletically? Yes, but when you talk about paying a guy $20 million who's not the quarterback of your team, you got to look at the leadership position. Man, and that's where the problem comes up for me paying Odell $20 million.
No, man. Gee, can the ball win your games?
Odell Beckham?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Yeah. He makes sure you have the game plan for him. He changes your coverages. And anytime you got to change how you play your defense,
yes,
you like that.
You like that.
The reason why I think he should get paid $20 million is not just about what he do in the field. It's about people are buying tickets to come see this man. They coming to see the show. They coming to see when he scores touchdowns, when he do all these exotic dances and these creative dances. They coming to see the show. They got all these bobbleheads with his hair and his apparel jerseys that he's selling and everything like that. Right. So it's not just about what he's doing on the field. And the owners and the GMs ain't stupid. You know them people coming to buy tickets because they trying to come see Odell Beckham Jr. And people talk about the antics and all the things that he do, and I don't agree with everything he do off the field and on the field and stuff, all of the tirades and the temper tantrums he threw. But at the end of the day,
people paying money to see Odell.
That's what makes him who he is. That's what's making him the public figure around the nation, and everybody knows who Odell Beckham is.
That's
facts. For Christmas, my son wanted an Odell Beckham jersey.
We talk about receivers.
And he's 8 years old. So all I'm saying is $20 million, people might look at that, man, that's quarterback money. But think about the whole grand scheme of things. The man produces on the field.
Right.
He has over 100 catches, 1,300 yards, 10+ touchdowns. He makes you game plan for him every week. Yeah. Like I say, jersey sales, ticket sales.
Merchandise.
When they on TV, everybody tuning in.
Odell Beckham.
Rating wise. So all of that, you put all into account. Yeah, he deserves $20 million. He might deserve more.
Right. That's why he said $20+ million. The only thing I'm looking at, not saying to myself, okay, that guy at some point in time, can he win you games? Absolutely. I don't want to even dispute anything he's accomplished receiver-wise, because that's just disrespectful. It just is. This guy's a 100 catches receiver, minimum 1,300 yards if he's healthy, minimum 10 touchdowns. He has an it factor about them. He is my generation of Randy Moss. When I was coming up, it was Randy Moss for me. To this generation of kids, that's the kind of player they want to be. That's the guy.
He's not Randy Moss, though.
He's not Randy Moss, but he's my generation.
How about
my generation? Is he Randy Moss? No, but I'm talking about for these kids' generation, the player that they're going to look up to is Randy Moss. These kids' generation of player. Our generation player is Randy Moss. Is he Randy Moss? No. But for these kids' generation, who they want to be like? Odell Beckham Jr. They're not trying to be like Antonio Brown, who's a great player. They're not trying to be like Julio Jones. They're saying who I want to be like. I want to be like Odell Beckham Jr. From a generation standpoint, these kids want to look up to, they're not going to say, oh, Randy Moss, this and that. They're going to say Odell Beckham Jr. So I'm talking from a generation standpoint. Now, Randy Moss is a better player. That's different. He changed the game.
Right.
He changed the landscape of how you play the position. I'm not getting to that, but he has a similar it factor that Randy Moss has had. So I don't want to dispute the fact that I don't want to pay him $20 million. What I am saying is, if you're going to pay him $20 million, if you're the New York Giants, you got to start saying, okay, you got to start putting a level of expectation on from a leadership position. Accountable. You got to start holding him accountable for some of the things he does on the field. You can't just let him just be what he want to be and how he want to be, because it's now bigger than that. Because no receiver is getting paid $20+ million.
I totally disagree with that, because this is the thing. Forget what other people do. I say this time again. Forget about what everybody else doing. Take care of in-house first. You drafted him. He's your guy. You want to keep him. Give him his $20 million because he's worth it. That's the key thing. The key thing is he worth it? Yes. On the field, is he worth it? Yes. Give it to him. Because we watch tournament. I watched Joey Porter be an asshole for his whole career. I watched Warren Sapp be an asshole for his whole Hall of Fame career. Richard Sherman, you know what I'm saying? Earl Thomas, the whole Legion of Damn Boom was assholes. But did that stop them from getting their top money? Nah. So don't mix me with that leadership and all that stuff. If you saw what life was like without him. Right. You saw he was the only person missing from your offense last year, and you got the number 2 pick and all that stuff. Period. You saw what life was like without him. That was the only person
Producer.
You saw what life was like. Producer. That was the only person. There we go.
There we go. So you got a double take.
Hey, that's what it is. Hey, that's gonna be on the G Sports snippets. Made it to my first snippet last week.
My concern is not paying him $20 million plus a season. I would say if I'm the New York Giants, if I'm going to pay it, I would say this: if I'm playing GM, obviously he's going to be wanting to consider a 5-year deal. I'll probably do something within the first 2 or 3 seasons and give him the money. But after 3 years, I can't make this a 5-year deal. Guarantee this whole 5 years, obviously, but maybe at year 3, I will give him much guaranteed I can in the first 2 seasons. Then after that, this is a situation where, from a cap standpoint, if I don't think you're the guy that's, a leader on my team, I'm not going to afford to have a $20+ million cap guy who is not a leader of my team.
I agree with that.
He has to be a leader. Now, from a playing standpoint, listen, I'm going to guarantee these first 2 years, man. $22 million, here you go. That's $44 million guaranteed. And look, this is going to be a $50 million guaranteed deal going into year 3. I'm only going to be on the hook for $8 million guaranteed. The rest of this shit, I can cut. You see what I'm saying? Where we at leadership-wise? Are you the leader of my football team? And if you're not, then I don't care what you're doing statistically. Facts are, if I'm still winning 5 in 10 games and you're not a leader in my locker room, then if you're being a distraction to my organization and team, I got to cut ties.
Man, it's more man.
Got to cut ties.
The best player and the most paid player is not always the leader on the other team. That's just fact. So
Right.
so that's
True.
So that argument is like null and void. I mean, honestly.
What I'm saying is I'm not going to pay him based upon his athleticism at $20+ million if that's all he is.
Let me ask you this. All right, you sell cars. If you sell the most cars at your dealership, but you have all these crazy antics, are you not going to expect to get the money that's worth to you?
But the difference
I don't want no rebuttal.
There's a difference in my business and his business. My business could be a 25-year business. His business is about 10 years stretch.
But the thing is, if you don't give it to somebody else, gonna give it to them. So that's
then you let somebody else team do it. I'm not saying I'm saying if I'm playing GM,
but you didn't
I'm gonna let somebody else do it.
You didn't answer the question. Don't try to dodge the question.
No, go ahead.
Look, I asked you the question. If you sell the most, if you the best what you do, but you weird as shit. You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna and you draw out a number for them to keep you? Are you gonna take anything less than the number that you drew out?
No.
Okay then. So why should he?
I'm not saying you should take less.
All right then. So
I'm just saying towards,
man,
if you're going to give him a 5-year deal, give him a 5-year deal. I'm going to guarantee 2 of it. And a 3rd-year deal, I'm going to give him a small portion. But if you're not leadership to me, then I'm cutting ties as a GM, and I'm moving on.
That's why you won't be a GM. So while we shift gears to this high school, we know that Fred would not be in consideration for GMing.
A lot of fans would agree with me on that.
Boy, you tried to make the Cavaliers get what the boy name was?
Paul Millsap.
And talk about he was going to do something.
That's 17. I'm talking about 18.
But that's a GM, you worse than Dale Dips.
You said the Saints was bad for drafting Alvin Kamara.
And Ryan Ramczyk.
First of all,
the internet never forgets.
First of all, the internet don't forget. I was bad about Ryan Ramczyk.
You bad about both of them.
Well, I wasn't sold on him because I didn't know who he was.
Well, that's your fault.
That's not GM quality material.
Told you that was the most important draft pick we had.
Sheesh.
Just saying. Alvin Kamara.
I
don't agree with he been wearing lately though.
That's your name.
Shouldn't he been wearing?
Hey, it's no worse than what Russell Westbrook and
No. You taking a little far.
You saw what he had on?
I say it's no worse than them.
It is. It is.
Well, Russell Westbrook.
Listen, I thought that was a woman standing up on that stoop. I'm telling you, bro. I thought it was a woman.
Listen, we gotta get into high school basketball. We got to get into high school basketball.
We got 10 minutes left.
10 minutes left for the show. Louisiana High School basketball quarterfinals are up. G Sports. What are some of the big time games coming up this weekend?
First of all, I want to see the LHSAA. You're a joke. You are running a cartel as well, like the NCAA. You got 12 damn state champions. That's ridiculous. 12 damn state champions. This high school basketball and high school football is watered goddamn down. You're not getting a true champion. And it's ridiculous. It's all about money. Y'all trying to get as many games as possible down there in Lake Charles so y'all can get a lot of people in there to buy hotel rooms and get in there and buy tickets so y'all can make all this money, but you're not getting a true champion. It's watered down.
They got a blueprint yet.
Scotlandville is already in the quarterfinals. They didn't play a first round game. They didn't play a second round game. They're in the quarterfinals. So all they got to do is win tomorrow against Holy Cross and then in Lake Charles for the top 28. That's ridiculous. You serious? What kind of road is that? What kind of road is that?
Coach, they had 2 buys.
You had a first round bye, a second round bye. You're already in the quarterfinals. You're playing Holy Cross. No disrespect to Holy Cross. You're playing Holy Cross to go to the top 28. And then you're going to play the winner out of McKinley and Lighthouse of the Blind, I think they play. It's ridiculous. But hey.
I'm just going to sit and smile.
Hey, but that's what they running this like the cartel. It don't make no sense. These people will find a way to make money off of these high school kids and these families. It's ridiculous.
They got a blueprint yet.
It's ridiculous, bro.
That's not why it's split, though. That's not why it's split.
Well, why it's split?
You know, it's the private and public.
It's about money. This is about money.
No, that's not why it's split.
You serious?
I'm dead serious.
Well, explain it to me and explain it to the viewers.
That's off topic. We got
this is informative. We
got to stay on topic.
That's what FanView all about. We want to educate people and inform people.
But let's educate them on this playoff matchup. You know, if we got time.
This is informative. We got to stay on topic. That's what FanView all about. We want to educate people and inform people.
I liked that one though. That was a good one.
Look, Division 1, Scotlandville plays Holy Cross in the quarterfinals. I'm pretty sure Scotlandville is going to win that. Jesuit plays McKinley, so the winner out of that plays Scotlandville in the top 28. Then you got St. Paul playing Brother Morton. I got St. Paul winning that. They advanced. St. All playing Catholic Baton Rouge. I got Catholic Baton Rouge beating St. All to meet up with St. Paul in the quarterfinals. Ultimately, it doesn't even matter what happens on that side of the bracket. Scotlandville is going to win Division 1, and it won't even be close. Right. 4A. I say 4A. I'm skipping. Division 2. We got some decent matchups in Division 2. Waiting for this to load up. Bad service up in here.
That's that trenches connection you got.
Nah, man, it's come on, man.
My 4A?
Nah, this Division 2.
Why it loaded up for the reason why it split. It started with football a couple of years ago. You loaded up?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. All right.
Division 2, we got St. Thomas More playing Loyola Prep. St. Louis playing Lucia Charter. So the winner. I don't know anything about those 3 schools. Only team I know about is St. Thomas More. I would assume St. Thomas More will advance to the top 28. De La Salle plays St. Michael, and David Thibodeau plays U High. I got U High coming out of that. I got U High meeting De La Salle in the semis and meeting over St. Thomas More in the championship Division 2. I think U High beats St. Thomas More. St. Thomas More is the number 1 seed. I got U High beating them in the championship in Division 2. I think that'll be a nice championship matchup. U High and St. Thomas More.
Brother Martin, the New Orleans team.
Who?
One of the 6. I said you said Brother Martin. I said one of the 6 of the New Orleans teams that's still alive.
Right.
Division 3, we got Riverside, and
stop.
Stop.
They playing Calvary Baptist.
That don't matter. What they play?
They playing Calvary Baptist. Episcopal plays Newman. So the winner out of Episcopal and Newman meets up with Riverside in the semis. You don't have a shot in hell. I don't want to sound disrespectful.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Country Day plays Holy Savior Menard.
Where they come up with these school names at, man? They got Jehovah Jireh and Baton Rouge. They got Holy Savior.
And then Church Academy plays Dunham.
Church
Academy plays Dunham in the semis. So I got Dunham meeting Country Day in the semis, and I got Riverside meeting Episcopal in the semis. So I got Riverside meeting Dunham in the championship. That's gonna be. I think that'll be a good matchup.
Country Park's on the opposite side of Riverside, right? They're not on the
Nah, they're not on the same side. But
I think, man, that freshman, man. Oh
Country Day they're gonna play Dunham in the semis, and I mean if Country Day was to beat Dunham, I wouldn't be surprised. But my pick is Dunham.
Right.
So I got Dunham meet Riverside in the championship, and none of them has a shot in hell to beat Riverside.
It really don't matter.
Riverside should handle that easily. Division 3.
Mm-hmm.
So Division 4. So now we're on Division 4.
And they got Edna Cost still in
there. It's a damn shame all these damn things we got to go through. 12 state champions we're going to have. Lafayette Christian plays Central Catholic. In the quarterfinals, Vermilion Catholic plays Southern Lab. The winner of those will meet up in the semis. I think neither one of them has a chance in hell to beat Lafayette Christian. So Lafayette Christian gets to the championship in my mind. Hamilton Christian plays St. Martin's Episcopal. Homer Christian, out of Homer, baby, plays St. Mary's.
And that's what they wrote in.
They got a shot. I don't really know too much about St. Mary's, but I talked to a couple of players, a couple of coaches off of Homer Christian's basketball team. They think that St. Mary's is a good team, but they think they are better suited out of everybody to beat St. Mary's and take them down. So we'll see how that happens. But I still think it don't matter who meets up with Lafayette Christian in the championship. Lafayette Christian going to take the home the Division 4 state championship. Then we got Division 5. We got Jehovah Jireh. Plays Claiborne Christian. I don't know anything about any of these teams. Family Christian plays Episcopal of Acadiana. Jehovah Jireh gets to the semis. I think they win in the semifinals and get to the championship. Jehovah Jireh beats in the championship. I've seen Jehovah Jireh play like 3 times. They're a pretty good team. Crescent City plays Runnels. Never heard of them a day in my life.
Yeah.
Vision Academy. Vision Academy plays Grace Christian.
Sounds like a club.
Right. They're gonna probably meet up with Crescent City in the semifinals. Sean Dumas is doing a fantastic job with Crescent City. They won the state championship last year. I expect them to be in the championship this year. So Crescent City going against Jehovah Jireh in the championship, I think that's gonna be a great state championship. But the semifinal and the quarterfinal matchup, it's not gonna be worth watching in my mind. Then we go to Class C.
The expression. Class C.
Summerfield plays Phoenix. Know nothing about none of these teams. Pleasant Hill plays Sane. Don't know anything about them. Singer plays Adarb.
We got this many schools in Louisiana.
Gibson and Coleman plays Simpson.
Class C is schools that only plays basketball.
I don't know anything about any of these schools. Summerfield, I want to say that's that school from Hammond. Around Ponchatoula, Hammond area. Yeah, that's where Nook went. I don't know if you know Nook.
Yeah, Nook went to Springfield.
Oh yeah, I'm tripping. Springfield.
Summerfield is the name of the old folks' home.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about these schools. I'm gonna assume Summerfield they the #1 seed. I'm gonna assume Summerfield gonna win Class C.
They Uncle Drew, baby.
I don't know anything about Class C. I don't know anything about those schools. Class B. 12 down state championships.
12.
Hey, now football ain't got all that.
I know. No. I'm just saying they still got a lot though. Cincinnati plays Doyline. Florian plays Hicks in the quarterfinals. Hathaway plays Pickens. Yeah, something. Weston plays Zwoley. Now I know a little bit about Zwoley. I saw him play last year in the top 20. Zwoley has a pretty good program. So I don't know anything about this team, but Zwoley, I'm gonna just assume Zwoley will make it to the state championship and win it all because I don't know anything about these schools. Now we at 1A. So now 1A, 12 state championships.
Yeah, 12.
It's a shame. So in 1A, we got Tensas playing Cicely Island.
I never heard of that.
Arcadia playing White Castle. North Central playing Hayesville. Jonesboro Hodge plays Dow. I know a little bit about Cicely Island, and I know a little bit about White Castle. I'm going to assume that White Castle advances to the semis against Tensas. And
is that Doyle? D-O-Y-L-E?
D-E-H-L.
Odell.
Yeah, I don't know
Odell
anything.
Charter Academy.
Yeah, I'm gonna just assume the number 1 seed is gonna win the state championship in Class 1A tenses.
They knew.
I'm just, and look,
They
I want to say this is no disrespect to any of these class. I just don't know nothing about them.
Right.
Well, see, C, A, and B, they schools that literally have it might be 25 seniors that graduate. They don't qualify to play baseball or football, but track and basketball are the only sports that they can play. So that's why they not in the 1A, 2A.
Right. 2A, we got Rayville. Rayville, I know a lot about them. They gave Riverside their only loss this year. Rayville is a really good team. They gave Madison Prep all they can handle in the state championship last year. But Madison Prep has moved from 2A to 3A. So
they ran.
I think I think Rayville meets up with North Cato in the championship. North Cato's in the quarterfinal against Faraday. I think they win there, get to the semis, and then advance to the championship. But I got Rayville winning 2A. Rayville just on another level from all these teams that's left in 2A. 3A, where it gets interesting. We got 3A. We got Madison Prep playing Brewley. Carroll playing Wassman. Carroll and Wassman, that's going to be a really good. I want to say that's a rematch of semifinals of last year. Yeah. That's a rival game. That's going to be I can only imagine how that's going to be on tomorrow night. But I got Wassman winning it and advancing to the semifinals, to the top 28 against Madison Prep. I think Madison Prep advanced to the championship. Even if Carroll upsets Wassman, I still got Madison Prep advanced to the championship. And then we got Sophie B. Wright playing Crowley. I got Sophie B. Wright winning it. And we got Richwood playing Peabody. I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to go with Richwood. I seen Richwood play. I seen Richwood play twice this year. Richwood has a lot of size. They have a lot of talent on their team. Even though Peabody is Peabody, and Peabody got some talent, I think Richwood has what it takes to take down Peabody.
I just find it, me personally, Peabody got that tradition.
Yeah, right.
Always does.
They do.
It's tough.
They do.
It's just tough.
They do.
That's a tough out.
They do. But I think Richwood gets it, mess around and go out there and get it done.
Sophie Wright, another New Orleans school.
Right. Sophie B. Wright meets up with either Peabody or Richwood in the semifinal. I'm gonna tell you something, bro. I think Sophie B. Wright has what it takes to get to the championship. And that's going to be a good semifinal matchup, even if they play Richwood or Peabody. Right. That's going to be a great semifinal matchup. It's the same with Madison Prep. They meet up with Carroll or Wassman. That's going to be a great semifinal matchup. But I got Madison Prep cutting down the nets. And when it's all said and done, in 3, even if they meet up with Peabody, all class to watch. 4A. 4A is going to be real interesting. You know, Bossier got upsetted. The number 2 seed got upsetted by McDonald 35. McDonald 35 plays St. Martinville.
Nothing to Warner School left.
I got McDonald 35 advancing to the top 28. I think they beat St. Martinville.
Over St. Martinville? That's another historic program.
And McDonald 35 playing at home. McDonald 35, let me say something. They was a number 18 seed. They wasn't a typical number 18 seed coming into this tournament. McDonald 35 has all the talent. They are super athletic. They got a lot of length and a lot of size. And then Coach Wu, man, Coach Wu is a legendary coach. He knows how to push them buttons at this time of the year to propel his team to advance in the playoffs. So I got them in the finals, playing against Woodlawn Shreveport. Woodlawn Shreveport is playing Northside. Northside is a pretty good team, but the Woodlawn Shreveport is one of the better teams. 5 plays Woodlawn Shreveport. That's where their road ends. They will lose to Woodlawn Shreveport. Woodlawn Shreveport got 10 players. They are doing platoon swaps. They got 2 starting 5s. Then they shooting it from everywhere out the gym. They all loaded. Woodlawn Shreveport, I got them going to the championship, playing on that side of the bracket. Then do not be surprised.